In this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate descriptive statistic measures for ungrouped data. So we have the mean, median, the mode, the quartiles, the standard deviation, and the skewness and the coefficient of variation. So you're given here the data 10, 10, 13, 20, 24, 27, 30, and 31. The first question wants you to calculate the mean, median, and the mode. The second question, the first and the third quartile. Third question wants you to calculate the standard deviation. Fourth question wants you to comment on the skewness. And the last question wants the coefficient of variation. Okay, for the first question, to calculate the median, okay, let's start with the mean. Everybody knows that the mean is given by the sum of all your data points divided by the sample size. So in this case, we know that n is the number of your data points. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. So n is 8. For our mean is going to be 10 plus 10 plus 13 plus 20 plus 24 plus 27 plus 30 plus 31. Right, that is the sum of n divided by n, 8. And that would give okay, that gives 20.625, which would be 20.63 when you round off to 2 decimal places. So that is the mean. And then the mode, of course we know that the mode is the most occurring number. In this case, it's 10. However, it is possible that there is more than a single mode, and in other cases when all your variables are unique, you don't have the mode at all. So suppose that we did not have this 10, we only had 1, 10, 13, 20, 24, 27, 30, and 31. That would be the case whereby we don't have a mode because all of our data points are unique. And then the next one is the median. So the third one is the median. We first have to find the position of the median. So the median position since 8 is an even number, then we're going to go to the position n over 2, which is going to be 8 over 2. Sorry, not over 4. 8 over 2, which is 4. And what does that mean? We go to the number on the fourth position, and the number next to it, we sum them up and divide by 2. So we average them, and that will give us the median. ME equal to, on the fourth position we have 1, 2, 3, we have 20, and the number next to it is 24 divided by 2. And why do we do that? As you see, on the fourth position, on your left hand side you only have 3 points wide, on your right hand side you have 4 points. So that is an imbalance. It shows you that that is not exactly the middlemost number. That's why we have to average these two, because in that case we can see that you have 3 numbers left on your left hand side, and on your right hand side you also have 3. Okay, so that would give 44 divided by 2, which is 22. And that is our median. Do not forget the interpretation again of the median is that half the data is less than or equal to the median, and the other half is more than or equal to the median. And please note that you should be able to interpret this for different kinds of scenarios that they could give you. They could give you data on the weight, or they could say it's data on the volume or anything. Just make sure that you're able to interpret this into any sort of data. Okay. The next question wants you to calculate the first and the third quartile. So in the case of the quartiles, the first thing you do have to find the position. So let's start with Q1. So Q1 position, remember, is given by n plus 1 over 4. Right? The position for ungrouped data for Q1 is always given by n plus 1 over 4. Don't forget that for Q3 it would be 3 over 4 times n plus 1. Right? That is how you find the position. So in this case, n plus 1 over 4 would be 8 plus 1 over 4. And it's 2.25. As you can see, 2.25, of course, is not a whole number. It means that the number is between the second and the third position. So what would the value of our Q1 be then? Then it means you should go to the second position, which we have 10. Plus, as you can see here, we have 2.25. So that's 0.25. We're going to write it here, 0.25. And then you go to the number next to our Q1, next to the second position, which is 13, minus the number on the second position. So just to write is the number on the second position plus 0.25, which comes from here, multiplied by the number on the third position minus the number on the second position. Then what is that going to give us? Is 10 plus 0.25. It's 10.75. So our Q1 value is therefore 10.75. And then to find Q3, the position is given by, let me not write Q3 position, it's given by 3 over 4 times n plus 1. So it's 3 over 4 times 8 plus 1. And that gives us 6.75. Then 6.75 again is not a whole number, it's between the 6th and the 7th position. So Q3 would be 6th position, the value that is on the 6th position, plus 0.75, right? Because here it tells you that it's 0.75 away from 6, right? It's that percentile. And then multiply by the number on the 7th position minus the number on the 6th position. So it's going to be on the 6th position, what do we have? We have 27. So it's going to be 27 plus 0.75 multiply by 30 minus 27. Okay. And that would give us 29.25. So that is how you calculate your first and your third quartile. And then the next question wants you to calculate the standard deviation. So in the question of standard deviation, in such a case, it would be 3 marks because they know you've already calculated the mean from above. From our first calculation, we found that the mean is 20.63. Here, we found that the mean is 20.63. So let's proceed to calculate the standard deviation. Remember that the standard deviation, you have to find the variance first. The standard deviation, as you remember, is the square root of the variance. The variance is given by s squared equal to the sum of the square of the deviation from the mean, right? Which is the sum of each point minus the mean all squared. That is the deviation, the square of the deviation from the mean, divided by n minus 1. That is the variance. And then whatever you find above, your standard deviation would be the square root of that. Okay, so in order for us to find the variance easily, we are going to take our data points and we're going to find, we're going to create a column for the square of the deviation from the mean. After that, we'll substitute that value here. So let's start. We're gonna write all our x values here. Copy. We have 10, 10, 13, 20, 24, 27, 30, and 31. Right? Those are all our x values. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, they are sorted. For us to easily find the value above, then we create x minus x bar all squared. So our mean, we said it's 20.63. Okay, now let's find the first value. So here we would say 10 minus 20.63 all squared, and then that is 112.996. Okay, so if you round this off to 2 decimal places, this would be 113. So for those of you who did not get how we found this value, it's 10 minus 20.63 all squared. So it's the x value minus the mean value of 20.63. You put that in bracket and you square it. So you have to do that for all of the values. After that, you sum them up, and that would give you the sum of x minus the mean all squared. Okay, again here it would be 113. Okay, so for the third one would be 13 minus 20.63 all squared is 58.22. And how did we get that? It's 13 minus 20.63 squared. And then the third one, the fourth one, I mean. Okay, when you say 20 minus 20.63 all squared, that gives us 0.3969, which would be 0.4 when you round it off to 2 decimal places. 0.4. Then the one after, for 24, the square of the deviation is 11.36. The square of the deviation from the mean. Then the next is 40.58. Then for 30, it's 87.796. So that would be 87.8 when you round off to 2 decimal places. 87.8. And last for 31, that gives 107.54. Now, we now have the square of all the deviations from the mean for our values. What we have to now do is to sum everything up so that we get the sum of x minus the mean all squared, right, divided by n minus 1, and we find our variance. Then after that, we find the square root that would give us the standard deviation. Okay, the deviation 113 plus 113 plus 558,22 plus 0,4 plus 11,36 plus 40,58 plus 87.8 plus 107,54, and that gives 531,9. So the value we have over here, that's 531,9. That is the sum of x minus the mean all squared. So we have this numerator over here. Right. So moving on, I'll use the other page. Our variance would be 531,9 divided by 8 minus 1. And that gives 75.99. So 75.99 is the variance. Then to find the standard deviation is the square root of that value. It's 8,72. Okay. So that's how you find the variance. In the case whereby like this, whereby they've already asked you for the mean above, please note that this would only be 3 marks. And note that you can get these values from the calculator, but you're not gonna get any marks, especially if the instruction does say that you're not allowed to use your calculator. Then the question D says comment on the skewness. In order for you to comment on the skewness, you need to know your mean, median, and the mode. So the skewness formula is given by 3 times the mean minus the median divided by the standard deviation. This is the kind of question that comes after, whereby you already have all the values, the mean, median, and the standard deviation. So from the first one, we found that the mean is 20.63, and we found our median to be 22. So we are going to proceed to use these values. So it's going to be 3 times 20,63 minus the median of 22 divided by the standard deviation, which is 8,72. Right, so the value for the coefficient of skewness would be It's negative 0.47. In any case, you know that it's negatively skewed or skewed to the left because the mean is less than the median. So you could still tell that it's negatively skewed without even using this coefficient, without calculating this coefficient. Remember, I did explain that if the mean is greater than the median, is greater than the mode, like this. If the mean is greater than the median, should be more than the mode, then you have negatively skewed. And then in the case whereby, no, sorry, you have positively skewed, man, not negative. I'm just going to erase it, remove that part. If the mean is greater than the median, and the median is greater than the mode, then you have the case of the positively skewed. But if the mean is less than the median and the mode, you have the case of negatively skewed.
Anyways, I'm done. Nothing.
Then the last case is when the mean is equal to the median is equal to the mode, in which you have symmetrical data. Yeah, symmetrical data. So before you could even calculate for skewness, you could already tell that your median is 22 and your mean is 20.63. So your coefficient, you're definitely going to have negatively skewed data. And then the last question wants you to calculate the coefficient of variation. So for the coefficient of variation, okay, so the coefficient of variation is given by the standard deviation divided by the mean. And then our standard deviation is 8.72 and the mean is 20.63. So it's 8.72 divided by 20.63. Then that would give multiply by 100 because it's in percentage. It's 42.27%. Okay, so that is how you calculate your descriptive statistic measures for ungrouped data. The mean, median, mode, first and third quartile, standard deviation, skewness coefficient, and the coefficient of variation. Thank you. In the next lecture, I'm going to show you how to calculate measures for basic probabilities. See you in the next video.